And welcome to Are You Winning Son, the only podcast about video games in the known universe. I'm Damien.
I'm Deej, the son.
And this week we will be discussing video game news, including Epic versus Apple, Halo delayed, and Hades 1.0 is finally released or will be released. Dion, tell us about Epic versus Apple. What side do you take? What side are you taking in this fight?
What side would I pick in this fight?
David versus Goliath, or is it called Goliath versus Goliath?
It's definitely called Goliath versus Goliath.
Goliath?
Goliath versus Goliath. Especially now since Microsoft actually jumped in the mix too. They're in Epic's corner, but citing that this would be a conflict with Unreal Engine. But yeah. I think it's fun. I think it's fun because this is Fortnite, you know, and it just everybody loves Fortnite ? But and it's just funny to see Apple would just be like, "Hey guys, no, not today," and Epic's like, "Bitch, you did the same thing back in the day, and hey, we're not gonna let it slide." And Apple's like, "What are you talking about? I don't know." So this is entertaining. What do you know about it?
I think my opinion is that it's all relative. I think a $20 billion company is, in a way, the David versus Goliath, because if you think about Apple is worth $1 trillion, maybe close to $2 trillion at this point. I think people have a hard time with perception of, a million versus a billion and a billion versus a trillion. You know what I mean? I think if you are... We're probably closer to getting $1 billion than Apple and Epic is to make $1 trillion. If you think about the word or the number 1 million versus a billion, do you know how the difference between a million and a billion is? A million seconds was 2 weeks ago. Think about it this way: a million seconds was 2 weeks ago. Okay, A billion seconds was 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you talk about the numbers, like, oh, it's a $20 billion company, let's not feel bad for them. Well, it does set a precedent in the, business world and the legal world where a company has to have some resources to go up against a company like Apple. They're saying their major complaint is being charged 30% of all transactions that Epic does on their store. Apple is saying that there is no exceptions to that rule. That is bullshit. There are multiple exceptions. There are exceptions to Netflix. There is exceptions to Amazon. The Amazon app has an exception. The Amazon Prime Video has exceptions. There are multiple apps on the App Store that Apple can pick and choose to give exceptions to. Those apps that I just named off, they have a 15% cut. They have a deal with Apple where they take less of money from them. So Apple saying there's no exceptions. Bullshit. There are multiple exceptions, and Apple can pick and choose which ones they want to shoot. They want to give good service. Give what do you call it? Give you know what I'm trying to say. Give an advantage to. You know what I mean? So
okay.
I and this is pretty. It's not clear cut, but I am definitely in Apple's corner on this one. So there you go.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I don't have a side either way, but I don't think that I'm 100 against Apple either. So no. I'm kind of with you. I don't know if I'm 100% in there with it, but I'm not. You look at these things and you're like, well, they have a point. So it's tough. It's funny, Microsoft jumping in there because Apple actually assisted against the very thing that's happening to themselves. It happened to Microsoft as well. So
yeah,
it's just funny to see, like, Gates is like, not today, mother.
Yeah. It's funny that Apple is trying to say, like, oh, there's no monopoly. Like, bullshit. Like, just because there's another choice you can make. Like, they're saying, oh, people have choices. They don't have to go into the Apple Store. You can also go into the Android store. See, two choices, not a monopoly. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
A monopoly doesn't have to be just one company controlling the entire market. You can have 2 or 3 companies controlling a market and still having a monopoly. So, yeah. What do you can choose Apple or you can choose Android. I think they're like, oh yeah, there's all these places you can go, bro. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just by default that 2 people involved, it's not technically a monopoly like you're saying. But yeah, it still, it's just like, yeah, it really is. I mean, but where do you draw the line? It's hard to find a place to cut the line in the sand because you're always going to be like, well, what about this? So.
So yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, moving on to the Halo was delayed. This is the oldest story in the age of the internet. This is a fucking ancient, crusty old story because it came out 2 weeks ago. But yeah, Halo was delayed, and so now if you think about, I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago, did we? Maybe, I don't know. But so yeah, there's really no reason to buy an Xbox now. Really, like what do they have that you can't get on a
It's
on a
funny
PS5
you're saying this.
or PC?
I was looking for podcasts to listen to, and this one guy, I think it was Hokage Thoughts. That's a podcast name. Hokage Thoughts.
Thoughts like THOTS. THOT.
It's fun. He talks fast like Charlie Day, and I only listened to it once, but he did this fun thing where it was like, I'm going to list all the greatest games from Xbox. And he proceeded to list all as the top 10 list itself was just all the blunders that Xbox made along the way, not actually games. And that was kind of the point. It was like, it was a top 10 list with 11 reasons. But he was just going through all the shitty things that Xbox has, and he was just saying like, he's like, well, yeah, I mean, Xbox truthers would be mad at me, but they go and look at their game library and they're like, wow, what do I play? Well, you don't have anything to play. So the lack of games was like number 4 on his list, but he cracked me up with the things he was saying. The fact that you have to enter your Wi-Fi password before you do anything, it was a very terrible OS or operating the homepage, but just what you're saying, yes, absolutely. What do they really have for video games? Yeah, it's Halo.
I could imagine the consoles being delayed this year. I feel like if Xbox delays their launch this November because of Halo not coming out, and also because of coronavirus delaying the manufacturing side of it, you know what I mean? The what do you call that? The production line being halted because of coronavirus, I could see these consoles not coming out this year. It's entirely possible.
Both? Like PlayStation 2?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think maybe yes. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe PlayStation might come out to get the advantage of being out first.
I think so too.
Yeah. Let's move on to Hades 1.0 released. Well, it's coming. I said it is released. It is going to be released.
I saw this and I'm like, damn, he's going to say something.
Yep.
And like 5 hours after I saw that article, because you were sleeping during this time, you said something about Hades. That was the first thing you said to me that day. And I'm like, yup. Called it.
Let's see. So you said a thing, which is like, why is this in early access since December 2018? It's pretty much, like I said in the text, pretty much every indie game that comes out that is in this genre, that is in this, what do you call it? Scale of game, where it's a small developer and small publisher putting it out. They almost always will put out a game in early access for 1 to 2 years to smooth out the rough edges, to take out the bugs, to add features people ask to be put in, and then it comes out in 1.0. I don't think a lot of people realize that Fortnite was in, or maybe still may be in early access technically. Almost every game that is in like a AAA release, like I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima actually came out, but anything that is not a large budget game like that almost always comes out in early access first.
Now, for the people that don't know what Hades is like, explain to them what the type of game Hades is.
So Hades is a top-down, like a Diablo style. What is it? What are those names called? There's a name for it, but anyways, it's if you've seen Diablo, you know what this game looks like.
Right. And for modern more stuff, you think like Bastion or Fury or things like that.
Yep. It is a roguelike game, which I play. I played a different one, a different roguelike. Yeah, I played a different roguelike every week so far this month, and this is another one of those roguelike, meaning if you die, you restart, but you get a little bit stronger every time. Your weapons upgrade a little bit more. You get better abilities, and you can choose which abilities to upgrade that last forever. You get to select permanent upgrades after you die. During the run, while you're playing, each room, each level will give you a choice of an upgrade to only have for that run. So it could be something like your AoE does more damage and reaches farther, or your health is increased, or you do more damage with less health. There are multiple randomized upgrades you can choose from each run. The thing that Hades does better than any other, not any other, but does better than a lot of roguelikes I've played recently is the mechanics feel really, really good. Very, 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 very tight controls. Very, very good hitboxes. If you think you're going to hit a guy, you hit a guy. If you think you can dodge out of the way of something, you do. It has very, 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 very tight controls. Feels very good to hit. Very fun to hit. Very fun mechanics. Very fun weapons to use. One of my favorites is a spear, which travels the entire length of the screen. So if somebody's on the other side of the screen, you can hit them with your spear. And when you throw your spear, you can pull it back to you. And if you pull it back to you, in time, it'll hit the guy in the back, so you do like critical damage with your spear that way. And it's just very, very fun.
You can use different types of weapons too, right?
Yeah, you can use a spear, a sword, you can use a shield, you can use a bow and arrow. Has multiple different types of weapons, and they all feel differently, but they all feel really good. They all feel very effective against different type of creatures. And then you have to adapt your playstyle, like with the bow. You obviously want to keep your distance, but it also has a specific AoE with a specific area of effect, which is like right in front of you. So you want to do that thing where you build a train of guys behind you, and then you turn around and wipe them out with one shot.
Guys.
Yeah, you do a train of guys, taking a train of guys. That's inappropriate. I don't know why you would say that.
After dark.
After dark. So this is from the developers of, like you said, Bastion. It also released Transistor in 2014 and Pyre in 2018.
Transistor, yeah, that's another one.
Yes. Very good game. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I read something about this game where it has ridiculous amounts of dialogue. Yep. And while it's, I don't know how many hours of gameplay it actually is, someone went on the record saying, I've played this game for 60 hours, and every time I died, I still hear new things.
Yeah,
like that's pretty absurd.
And it has very specific and like dynamic dialogue. So like you can go in and like lose 3 times to the first level boss, and then you go back to the town where the boss lives. Like you're all gods, you're all immortal beings. So it's this kind of game.
This is Hades' son, right?
Yes, it's Hades' son. I forget the guy's name, but yes, this is Hades' son. And it has a thing where the dialogue that you're talking about will change based on how well you're doing or how bad you're doing. So if you lose like 3 times in a row, like I have to the first boss, you come back into town and you talk to that boss and she's like, you fucking suck. I beat you 3 times in a row. You want to go for another? Or you go back in and when you get back to the room with the boss, she's like, I'm going to fuck you up just like I have 3 times in a row. You've lost. Right. You sucked 3 times in a row. Let's see if you suck again. Things like that.
Yeah. Artemis was a shit talker.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So I have a gripe with this though. This particular type of game, and I feel like it maybe not so much other games, but specifically this one. How I said that 2018, and it's almost been like the people that have played it have been the what do you call it, like quality assurance kind of thing, like the bug testers and stuff like that. When I asked you this question about Hades 1.0 release, I'm like, what was it before this? You know, this has been out for 2 years. Why am I now just hearing about this? And you mentioned how it's been out, but this is kind of, would you say this is like, I'm going to say the final version, but this is the version they're comfortable with, like saying, hey, I'm going to put my brand on this now and say, hey, this is the game that I want to bring to everyone's attention. That's kind of what this is.
Yeah, they're putting their stamp of approval on it. They've put all the features in that people want. They've smoothed out the rough edges. They've worked on the bugs. They've listened. They'll do a lot of like community feedback stuff where somebody will say, oh, I want this feature or I want that feature, or this weapon is OP or this weapon is too weak. I don't know exactly what they do, what they've been doing. I'm sure you can go back and look at their bug fixes, their release notes, things like that. But yeah, generally, just like I said, with every game like this, they will put out periodic updates, and they will eventually put out a 1.0.
Yeah, it's an interesting model.
Yes,
it's just I saw so many people when they saw this, it's like, sweet, I'm buying this, but then like the next thing was like, yeah, I played this like already, and I played through as this, and it's like, oh, you're buying it again, and then you look at the price tag for this one, and while I don't know what the price tag, I assume it was probably something like $30 even before this, but I saw that this was coming out at $30. And this type of game, I was like, if it was just a little bit lower, it would appeal to me, where I'd be like, this game looks fun enough, but I don't know if it's fun enough where I want to put in $30. And I see the people talking about it, and it's like, yeah, do it. But it just seems a little bit too high. But the fact that, they already put it out, people bought it, and then they bought it again.
No,
and it's just
you don't buy
like,
it again.
Huh?
You don't buy it again. What do you mean?
You don't buy it again? Oh, okay. Well, they don't buy it again?
If you buy it in beta, you buy it. Like you bought it. You bought
well, I
it.
mean that makes sense, and I'm glad to hear that. And just the way that people. Well, no, because it was coming through Switch too, right?
Right.
So I guess that's a personal decision to make. I'm going to buy it for Switch as well.
Yeah,
but,
Switch as opposed to PC.
Yeah, it's just when I want to look at this type of game, like I know it's like $5, but if it was $25, I'd be like, all right, I'll jump on. But like $30, and it's just like, well. You think I should just bite that bullet? You think I should just get that?
Yes. Yeah.
You think it's worth it?
Like you said, I've played 10 hours, maybe 15 hours of this game so far, and I haven't seen any repeating dialogue. It seems to be a game that has some sort of story. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. There's massive amounts of upgrades. There's massive amounts of huge skill tree. I think there's like a skill tree per weapon. There's abilities you can unlock, different abilities you can upgrade. So I think this is definitely one of those games that is worth the 25 buckaroos.
30,
sure. 25 to 30. I said 20. I said 25 because it's 25 on PC. It might be 30 on Switch.
I think that's what they're starting to go for. Yeah,
I see 30.
That's what I read. I don't. It might have changed. I don't know.
For the soundtrack as well. If you get the
soundtrack's good.
Yeah, very good.
What is it? We were talking like metal, rock.
Metal, yep.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
Anything less than metal, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could have like some like symphony, like Castlevania.
Yeah, that was good shit. Yep.
Okay.
Let's move on to Fall Guys. I have not played it, but I watch it all the time.
You haven't played yet?
No. Who do I play with? I don't play with PC people. Nobody I know has a PC.
What do you mean? Like I play Rocket. You play Rocket League still? You play with PC people, right?
True. You've played with your son. Has your son beat the shit out of you yet?
No. Well, yeah, it's online, so I can't play versus him.
Oh, yeah.
Unless he had his own shit. But we are of equal skill set.
Is that true?
This game is meant to feel clumsy. No one is meant to be good at it.
Right.
Hell, the Twitch universe rejoiced when Tim the Tap Man finally got a win.
Can I talk about that for a second? He had like 40,000 subscribers, and afterwards he had 45,000 subscribers, and it's like he made $25,000 in 10 minutes because he beat a fucking video game for children. Jesus fucking Christ.
Now you see why he works so hard at it. Like, while we come in and be like, oh, he's playing Fall Guys. While it's entertaining to watch, I'm not going to... I will say the Twitch itself has lost a bit of its luster to me.
Really?
I might be outgrowing it. And that's actually like in the streamer model. Like, apparently streamers have this thing where they're only relevant for a certain amount of time unless you're a big time thing.
Yes.
But I'm starting to feel that as the viewer, like, All right. Well, maybe I'm outgrowing this.
Right.
But for him, it absolutely makes sense that, like, I'm going to stick with this game until I get a win, especially if it shows what you just said. What was it, 25,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a win. I mean, I'm not going to get that. and I'll go with some gripes right now with the game. Like I said, it's meant to feel clumsy, bulky. Like I played this game where I'm supposed to rip the tail off another one, and like you trip over your own damn shadow, and it's like, why am I on the ground right now? Get up, and it takes them like 3-4 seconds. That feels like 30 seconds to get up. Someone yanks your tail. You got to go find a new tail. This game could be super addicting, and for a lot of people, it actually is. If not for this one thing where, like, once you lose the qualifying, because everything's broken into rounds. Once you lose that first round, there's no like immediate rematch kind of thing. Like, I feel like people should make a game where if you lose, immediately throw somebody into a lobby to make a new game, and they can X out of that if they want, or they can respond to a prompt like, all right, game found, accept, yes, and that way it will weed out the people that don't accept or whatever. And somebody could take their spot. I don't know if we're there yet. I feel like we should be there. But anyways, to have to go through multiple loading screens after I lose a game, very frustrating. I feel like I would play this game a lot more if those things were that situation was remedied. But alas, it's not. So I've played about 10 games. Me and my son went back and forth with it, and we've only both made it to the second round once. So when I say we are a equal skill set, yeah.
How many rounds are there?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. I imagine 4 or 5.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. It's tough. We play the game. It's going to take you forever to get to the second round.
Sure. Sure.
And then obviously the second round is harder. Like when I got to the second round, it was this rotating wheel that you had to keep jumping from. And people could bump you off, and you can trip in midair and fall down a hole. Like, I'm telling you, it's completely like unpredictable what happens. Like you think it's predictable because it should be, but it's not. It's not. And that's why it took. I mean, look, Tim, he's a pro streamer. It took him how long?
2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe.
2 weeks, yeah, whatever. I don't know, something. And so, hey, don't look at me when I say I only made it to the second round. I'm not on that level. I'm not making 25 grand for a goddamn win.
I feel like if you did,
you should play. I feel like you were. Go ahead. Sorry.
I want to hear Carrie's point of view. Like, her point of view is right now is like fuck streamers, fuck that lifestyle, fuck that, fuck that whole ecosystem. And then I want to see one of you, either you or your kids, bring home 10 grand from winning a Twitch Rivals championship, and I want to see her face. I want to see her reaction. Be like, let me rethink this.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if he started showing results, and I think ultimately Carrie would want like a backup plan. So
sure,
he could probably do all this, but he has to at least show that he's still academically there.
I can imagine him being like Gohan in Dragon Ball Z, and Chi-Chi's like Carrie, right? Like, you want to. I need the you're Goku, and you're like, honey, we need to defend the galaxy. He's got to do his homework first. And then the version of you is like, honey, he's gonna make $10,000 in the tournaments and the weekend and blah blah blah. And Carrie's like, well, he's got to do his homework first. Yeah, but fucking $10,000. The fuck.
Well, Chi-Chi was all about that, Yenny, yo. Don't even play.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm somewhere in between Goku and Vegeta, because Goku's a terrible father. Vegeta's
he
like,
was.
Yeah, he'd just like leave for days, years.
Yeah.
He'd go and die.
Yep.
And be like, I'm dead.
Sorry,
someone
Chi-Chi.
bring me back so I can at least go talk to my kids or something like that. And Vegeta, he's kind of like, I mean, he punches kids in the face. Like,
yeah,
I'm somewhere between.
I'm somewhere between beating my kid
totally
and not.
yeah, Carrie's totally Chi-Chi though.
Real quick, moving on. Let's talk about Spider-Man. Talk about games you're playing. Did you beat Spider-Man yet?
I haven't. I'm at 60%. Hey, come on, man. Limited time to play. We've been through this.
Sure.
I'm at 60%. I'm making progress. And I'm going to tell you something about this game. They do it right. All right. If you want, maybe you don't. What I'm noticing, if I stuck to story quests, I'd probably had finished this game, last week or something.
Yes.
If I attacked it every single night, I could probably finish it in a week.
Sure.
But they make it so like there's backpack tokens you can get, there's landmark tokens you can get, there's research tokens you get, and all these like they're collectibles, but they also like you can unlock upgrades to your accessories, you can unlock your suits and all this stuff, and man, you see that sleek black suit with the green lines on it.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm not gonna do that. But then I realized, hey, wow, I haven't even gotten to the challenge tokens yet. What? There's challenge tokens. So now I have to do the challenge tokens, and I do one, and I got to collect these bombs, and I got to blow them up before they blow up the town. And it's oh, man. And I was like, I got this. I don't got this. Like, to get the gold medal? I'm like, how did you even do this? I don't understand. Yeah. The best I got was silver on one of them. The other one is like I tried 3 times, got bronze. I'm like, no, this is too much. So, but they make it so accessible. All these tokens. It's like, all right, I'm moving on to the story mission, and that's like 2,000 in-game meters away. But then it's like, oh, there's a backpack token right there. Hold on, let me go get that real quick. Oh, and now I'm turned around. Oh, there's another one over there. And before I realize it, I'm now 5,000 meters away, and now I'm collecting all the backpack tokens. Like, this game does it right. Like, so many collectibles, and the story is great. And every time I continue with the story, I am happy that I told my son he can no longer play this game. When I beat this game, I'm gonna let him, fly through the city and do his thing, and just beat up like petty crimes on the streets. But I'm at this part now where the main guy, apparently he can possess bodies and stuff, and he kidnapped this one dude, and then he possessed him to give him the information, and then he handed him a handgun, which the dude put to his head and blew his damn brains out.
That was early on.
In a Spider-Man. Oh, it's actually like 60% through the game.
Was it? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But anyways.
Well, they don't show it, though.
No, you hear the gunshot, you see the dude, and it's kind of like, okay, he's in the background.
I know.
It's
I know.
blurry, but the body falls.
Right. A
6-year-old's going to pick up on that. He's going to see, because the gun was clear when he handed him the gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the violence is absolutely there. And I'm actually kind of like shocked by Spider-Man violence.
Right.
Like, this is more Spider-Man violence. Yeah, but even through like the Spider-Man movies, I feel like there wasn't this level of violence that I'm seeing in the video games. Like already, we're killing civilians. A helicopter's landed on somebody. This dude kidnapped a museum person and shot her in the face when I failed a mission. You just didn't see that in the videos or the movies. I mean, the closest we got was what's his name? Mysterio. He actually pulled a gun and actually shot Spider-Man or something
at
like
him.
That. So
yeah.
That weird tense scene. Carrie saw that.
Happens.
She was like, "Whoa,
shit happens."
You're letting him watch this?" But yeah, I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there.
Sure.
I'm getting there. Oh, and I will let him play because you are right. The gameplay is smooth when you're
very smooth
drifting through the buildings, and it's just smooth. Spider-Man flies, slick
Daddy Club.
Yeah.
One more thing. Well, I'll just mention Risk of Rain. I downloaded it. I tried it. Seems like a good game. Seems like a good one of those. But
I see people talk about that on Twitch.
Yeah. Microsoft Flight Simulator came out this week. I got it. I didn't. It's one of those games I wanted to.
You got it? Really?
Listen, it's one of those games I wanted to just try for like half an hour to see how my PC handles it, and it like uses all of my CPU and all of my graphics card and all of my RAM.
Detailed, bro.
Details, yes. So I got it on Game Pass. Game Pass is a thing where you pay $10 a month and you get pretty much any game released by Microsoft. So I was able to get that for free, try that for free. It was 98 gigs.
All right.
Yeah.
That's Warzone level.
Yeah, it's huge. What was I going to say? I might like it. I might put more time into it if I had a HOTAS. A HOTAS is an acronym meaning hands-on throttle and stick. It's a flight stick.
So we'll be using one.
Yeah. I think this year, since I'm watching all these movies, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to invest much time into it. But, I can't see myself investing $150 into a game peripheral that I'm only going to use for once or twice. But another year, I might do it. Might put the money into it. But not having
the thing.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
The way I did it was a mouse and keyboard, and it is almost impossible to accurately fly a plane with the 4 and 6 button. You're going back and forth. I'm bobbing and I'm weaving. I'm overcorrecting. I'm undercorrecting. It was not fun on a mouse and keyboard. Even I tried the PlayStation 4 controller did not work very well either. What was I going to say? I really want to check out neighborhoods and stuff. Neighborhoods around here. I want to try looking in New York City.
That was a neat touch.
Yes, I want to check out the details in this game. I'm going to fly over, all the big places.
Come on, keep going.
I want to fly over the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Keep going.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
I want to fly over your mom's house so I can visit her.
Right, of course, obviously.
What am I missing?
We're getting closer.
You
want to do what everybody else is doing, and you're going to travel to Epstein Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent you a picture of people in Microsoft Flight Simulator going to Jeffrey Epstein's island because apparently, I don't know, you're going to find the shack, the
you're
underground.
You're going to solve the mystery yourself.
Yeah, you're going to find the underground caverns.
The Sex Palace.
The Sex Palace. Yep. Because if you're a notorious child trafficker, you're just going to have your warehouse of children just out there so Microsoft can model it and put it in their game. That's exactly what you would
What
do.
if the developers actually did that, though? They had like this Easter egg where it's like you go underground under yeah. I don't know if they go that far. I'm positive they wouldn't. There's lawsuits involved. But did you hear about the new form of griefing?
No.
Cyberbullying, I suppose.
Sure.
People will find the houses of whoever they're cyberbullying, and they will crash planes into it.
Jesus. Awful.
I mean, you just give these people this ammunition. What do you expect people to do? Like, you're using like real world maps. Like, yeah. And that's the thing. You also were saying too. That's not the thing. I don't know why I said that. But you were talking about how you needed this whole rig.
Yes.
To fully enjoy the game. Keyboard and mouse is not going to cut it. But
No.
really, what do you expect when you download something that says flight simulator? You think a mouse? You think people fly planes with mouse and keyboards? I see. If I'm doing flight simulator, we need the throttle. We need to feel that.
Right,
if we're doing roller coaster or simulator, I don't know. We need the control panel that they work with or whatever. If we're doing goat simulator, yeah, I need a real life goat like right in front of me, and I need to be steering that thing directly into the fields. I'm not sure, but yeah,
I don't know if you know
what
this.
did you expect?
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but there are people right now in Nevada flying drones over Afghanistan, bombing weddings and funerals using an Xbox controller. So it is possible.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Xbox controllers are used for a lot of shit.
They really are.
and do you think it's Xbox fault? This is like saying Iron Man. Every time you bring up an Iron Man thing, like, oh, well, they're his weapons. Well, it's like, hey, bro, come on. He just sold them. And we blame Xbox when, a drone's controlled, and come on. It's just it's a damn good controller. It's good at what it does. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Tony was good at what he did.
Huh?
Tony's good at what he did. That's all.
He was very good.
That's my little digression.
His bombs worked very well.
His bombs worked.
They worked. So that will do it for Are You Winning This Week? Come back next week. Yes, come back next week.
Are we winning?
I think
we won.
I won. Yes, exactly. I played games this week that were very good. Did you win this week?
I won.
You won. Yes. All right. Yep. Great. Good to hear. All right. So for Are You Winning, Son, I've been Damien.
I've been Tej, the son.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.